Hi, it's Jo here from Rhythm and Tunes Piano School. Just here in the studio in between lessons, in between Saturday lessons, and I've got about an hour or so break now, so I'm going to go and get a takeaway coffee shortly. But I just wanted to just pop on here for a little minute and yeah, just share with you a couple of things that have been going on. I was just sitting here thinking about the incredible committed students that I've got in the studio, the committed parents, the committed adult students, and how nothing really ever gets achieved without some level of commitment. And a conversation came to mind that I've had quite often with people over the years, and I thought I'd just share it with you because it's really interesting. When I have this conversation with parents in particular, it really does come from a place of wanting to help them make a decision about their child's future music lessons, I guess, because quite often when I'm having this conversation, their child might have hit a little bit of a dip and they don't really feel like doing the piano playing every day. That's a requirement of being a student here, that you do actually do the homework and you do play the piano every day, and you do, there's a variety of different requirements that you do have to meet in order to be a student here. And sometimes, excuse me, the child has just hit a bit of a dip, and sometimes the parent understandably can be a little bit tired of the nagging and that sort of thing. So I do have this conversation with them, and as I said, it comes from a place of wanting to help them make a decision about what they should do and what the future holds. And I guess I did have one parent who actually took offence at me having this conversation with her. So now I ask permission before I delve into this particular area in this conversation. But I really still do believe that it's an important thing to talk about, and most parents thank me once they've had time to think about it, and it has helped them make a decision one way or the other. And so I guess what I say to them is, well, is it negotiable for a start? So is the piano playing every day and doing all their homework every day, is it negotiable? And quite often it is a negotiable activity, because they don't want to force their child to play the piano in case they hate it. And I say, well, if I had $1 for every single adult that has told me over the years that they wish their parents had not let them give it up, I'd be a very rich woman. And so I then go on to say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I say, where do you rate reading? If your child didn't want to read, is that a negotiable activity? Oh no, that's definitely non-negotiable. They must learn how to read, and so they tell me that's a 9 out of a 10. On if they're rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, it's definitely up there. It's a 9 out of a 10, or it's a 10 out of a 10. So I say, well, what about if they didn't want to do their maths? Would that be an issue? Oh no, that's really important as well, and that's a 9 or a 10 as well. And then I say, well, what about if, they just decided they would not like to brush their teeth for the next 2 weeks or next 3 weeks? No, that's non-negotiable as well. That must happen, and that's 9 out of 10 as well. And then I say, well, where's music on that rating of between 1 and 10? And some parents will say, oh, it's a 5. It's a 5 or a 6. It's not as important to them as reading and maths and literacy and, good oral hygiene. So, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I think once they realise, that they're treating it differently to the things that they value highly, then it kind of falls into place that, of course, the children are not going to want to do this every single day without parent support and encouragement and having a boundary there of it's a non-negotiable activity, in my opinion and in my experience, that's what produces really great piano players a few years down the track, if all of those parameters are in place. So some parents will say, oh, it's a 9 out of 10. And then once they realise that they value it as highly as the maths and the literacy, they tend to make it a non-negotiable activity. And I tell you what, when that happens, the kids come in and they are loving it. In a few weeks, once they've been, told that they must do this every day, they get better and they get more confident and they sound incredible and they feel good about themselves, and everything turns around. So it's a really interesting conversation that I've had, like I say, over the years with various people, and with adult students. I guess we have to parent ourselves, don't we? So I guess it's a really important question to ask ourselves. Well, how much do we value this? How much do we want to do this? Are we prepared to put it as a priority, as a daily priority, and get the work done? Because as much as I would love to have a magic wand and wave it over all of my students and make them into Liberace overnight, I just can't. And so it really is up to the kids in the studio and that parent support. And I always say it's like a triangle relationship. It's me and it's the parent on that kid's team. We are all cheering for that kid, and we are all wanting so much for that child to experience the psychological, the neurological, the physiological, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual nutrition that music provides for them. And I can't emphasize how important it is. Again, in my personal, very humble personal opinion, how important music is for children to have an experience of who they are and be able to have a vehicle to express themselves through. So there you go. Yes. So most parents really appreciate that conversation. As I said, I did have one parent take offence and thought I was calling her a bad parent. I wasn't. It was just trying to, look at the reality of the situation together and help them make a decision. I know when my own daughter was about 12 years old, she went through that dip like most kids do and said, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to give up. I want to go and do something else. I would much rather be out there playing tennis or soccer or whatever. And for me, it was a 10 out of 10. Obviously, I'm a music teacher. I value music highly in children's lives and especially in my own children's lives. But for my husband, it was a 5 or a 6. And so we had to have a conversation about, the fact that I rated it so highly. And he really came on board and he helped support me through that process. And once she realised that it was definitely an activity that wasn't negotiable in this household, then, she just knuckled down, did the work. And we both have the absolute delight now of working on project after project together. And it's a really beautiful, extra little, frosting on the cake of, our normal sort of mother-daughter relationship. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And it really helps, just connect us on a really lovely level. So there you go. I am getting, my husband's out front and he's about to take me for a coffee. So I need to get going and I will see you next time. Take care for now. Bye.